Alara lived in a small fishing village, curled like a sleepy cat beside a bright blue bay. Every morning, the older fishermen would take their sturdy, weathered boats out past the breakwater, returning with silver catches. Alara, all of 7 years old, had a boat too. It was a tiny, bright blue thing, barely big enough for her and her scruffy terrier, Pip. Her grandfather had made it, and it was her most prized possession. The older fishermen, with their booming laughs and salt-stiffened beards, would often tease her. "Going to catch a whale today, Alara?" one would chuckle. "Don't let the minnows pull you under," another would call. Alara would just wave, her small face determined. One blustery afternoon, a storm unlike any they'd seen in years barreled into the bay. The sky turned a bruised purple, and the waves, usually so playful, crashed against the shore with angry roars. The fishing fleet was still out. Panic rippled through the village like the wind through the marram grass. Elaranta stood on the jetty, Pip whining at her feet, her eyes fixed on the churning, grey horizon. She felt a knot of fear in her tummy, but a stronger feeling too, a desperate need to do something. Suddenly, through a momentary break in the driving rain, she saw it. A flash of red, close to the jagged rocks at the mouth of the bay. It was Old Man Tiberio's boat, the Sea Serpent, and it was in trouble. The other boats were further out, battling their own way back. Without a second thought, Alara untied her little blue boat. Pip, sensing the urgency, hopped in, barking once, then settling at her feet, a small furry anchor. "It's too dangerous, Alara," her mother cried from the shore, her voice thin against the wind. But Alara was already pushing off, her small arms working the oars with surprising strength. The little blue boat, usually so content to bob near the shore, was tossed about like a bathtub toy. Waves crashed over the bow, drenching her and Pip. But Alara kept her eyes on the red gleam of the Sea Serpent. It felt like an age, each pull of the oars a monumental effort. Finally, she reached Tiberio. He was slumped over his own oars, his face pale. His boat was taking on water, its mast cracked. "Mr. Tiberio," Alara shouted over the storm, "you need to come with me." He looked up, his eyes dazed. "Little Alara, what are you doing out here?" "Saving you," she said, her voice small but firm. It was a struggle, but somehow they managed to get Tiberio into the little blue boat. It sank dangerously low in the water, but it held. Alara, with Tiberio weakly helping, turned the boat and began the agonizing journey back to shore. Pip, as if understanding his role, licked Tiberio's cold hand. By the time they reached the shallows, the other boats were beginning to limp in, battered but safe. Hands reached out, pulling the little blue boat onto the sand. Alara, exhausted but triumphant, was lifted into her father's strong arms. Old Man Tiberio, wrapped in a thick blanket, looked at Alara. His gruff exterior had melted away. "That little blue boat of yours," he said, his voice raspy, "it's got the heart of a lion." From that day on, no one teased Alara about her small boat. They knew that courage didn't depend on size, and that even the smallest among them could be the bravest. And Alara, well, she still took Pip out in her little blue boat, but now she did so with the quiet confidence of a hero.